Well, with all of the efficiency of the Obamacare online rollout of 10 years ago, to say that Ron DeSantis's Twitter launch of his presidential campaign had glitches would be a bit of an understatement.
Mrs. O'Higgins, I wonder if you could come in.
Hello?
Mrs. O'Higgins, I wonder if
Hello?
Mrs. O'Higgins, I wonder
Hello?
Mrs. O'Higgins, down the press down on your button when I'm talking.
Hello?
Then
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, this is Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Please make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell, click the word all to get notification of my rants. Please like and share this video. That's what drives up the algorithm. That's what gets us an audience. Thank you. So Ron DeSantis officially launched his campaign on Twitter. Now, let me just say, it didn't go well. You all know that. You've been watching other people's commentaries about this. Is this going to knock him out of the race? Of course not. He's in it now. But his opportunity to make a big splash, to do something never done before, because we have to concede, had this all worked properly, this would have been kind of a big deal, that he officially launched his campaign on Twitter. That had never been done before. When you do something that's never been done before and it works out, you look like an incredible genius. And when you try something that's never been done before, when it fails, and implodes, you look like a moron. And sorry, Team Ron, that's where you guys are. Obviously, in his little collective group of his not only advisory board, but his handlers, his promoters. Somebody in the room said, hey, what if we launch his campaign on Twitter? And a bunch of them went, yeah, great idea. You know what would have been a great idea too? To have actually tested it to make sure that Twitter was up for this, because this is bad for Elon Musk, who's trying to get Tucker Carlson to launch a show on Twitter. Now, if a half a million people trying to stream it at the same time, quote unquote, cause it to crash. And there's more to it than that, and I'll get into it in a minute. Tucker Carlson, who was generating about 3 million viewers a night on Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News, Tucker had to have been watching this last night. And his head's got to be like, why am I making a deal with Elon Musk? Twitter does not have the infrastructure to handle this. He should have gone to Rumble. He should have gone to... I personally think he should take the deal with Newsmax, because he can do both. He can do the TV thing, and I know TV is on the way out, but before it goes out, Tucker literally could be the last big thing on cable TV, and he could put it right into Fox News, because it would automatically make Newsmax number one. But, who am I? The fact that it came crashing down, and you heard a little of it there. Now, it wasn't all the infrastructure. It was the stupidity of the people there. And again, it's a bad look for Elon Musk, who has trouble getting some of his SpaceX rockets off the launching pad. They have a tendency to, flop, fail, and incinerate. And, Trump's team, on the other hand, they've already produced videos and memes of rockets named Ron and imploding on the launch pad. I mean, sorry, Ron, you set yourself up for this. And, of course, the Democrats are having a field day with this. Even Joe Biden himself, obviously one of his team members, but this was tweeted out in real time while DeSantis' launch was failing and it was glitched. Joe Biden took to Twitter to said, here, this link works. And it was, a link to donate money to Joe Biden. This reminds me of when Barack Obama, after all of his build up for Obamacare and Nancy Botox Pelosi, we have to pass it so that you could see what's in it. And they passed it. And, the big rollout, here it is, Obamacare, go online, sign up. And it was a train wreck. And for weeks it was a train wreck, to the point even people who were for it, like Jon Stewart, had to go on The Daily Show and just eviscerate and make fun of it. And he did a supercut of glitches regarding the Obamacare website. And it didn't work. And even Jon Stewart was like, really? We have a company like Amazon, which can handle millions and millions and millions and millions of people in an hour, ordering things and have the logistics to run it through their computer system to a warehouse, into the back of a truck, and at your door within 24 hours. And you've been building up your health care for how long? And you can't build a website that can handle the traffic? You didn't think people might show up for this? Twitter, you're going to launch the presidential campaign of Ron DeSantis. You didn't think people might show up? Then they lied. Wow, look at this. Ron DeSantis, so many people showed up. This is a great sign. You've killed the internet. No. The same day, PlayStation had some type of online gaming tournament, and I don't get how all that works. I'm not into gaming. My boys are. They do it. Just shy of 1 million people all playing online at the same time through PlayStation. Nothing crashed. I think one of the largest streams was Red Bull sponsored something a few years ago. 4 million people simultaneously streaming it from one source. Trump does a lot of his rallies are streamed online, but there's multiple channels and places on YouTube, on Rumble, and other places where you can watch it. So the collective audience is in the hundreds of thousands, millions, but it's not just broken up onto one platform. But Red Bull pulled off 4 million on a single platform, and this was just audio. It was just audio. It wasn't even audio and video. It was just audio. It's like Marconi and radio. What is this? The FDR fireside chat? Ron DeSantis on radio saying, I'm running for president. So there's the whole thing was just, it was just a bad idea. And apparently Mr. DeSantis is just surrounded by people who have bad ideas, and he just goes with them. Now, the old guy, Trump, who's the old guy, because remember, Ron DeSantis is like in his 40s, and he's young, and he's visceral, and, he's got a young family, and, this is, new energy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's on the new media, the internet. Hasn't got a clue what he's doing. You could tell when they finally got all the glitches out, and some of those so-called glitches were not glitches, it was the morons sitting there. Elon Musk and the interviewer are sitting side by side, and they're running this thing off of Elon Musk's account. It kept crashing, so then they moved it over to the interviewer's account, but Elon Musk kept tapping in. So you heard this echo, because it's two people next to each other with open mics. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This has nothing to do even with a server issue. This is what we call in IT picnic. Picnic. P-I-C-N-I-C. Picnic error. What's a picnic error? Person in chair, not in computer. It was the dillweeds running it that were crashing it. It had nothing to do with the servers. And again, Ron DeSantis apparently left this thing for 20 minutes. Mr. Governor, are you there? Mr. Governor. Finally, he came back, and I'm sure he was seething, angry. He understands what an absolute disaster this was. So then finally, he just starts reading nonstop for 7 minutes what he's going to do. It was so bad, even Tim Pool over at Timcast, he and his co-hosts, including one of the guest co-hosts, is the director of Turning Point. They're just sitting there laughing and yawning at how gut-wrenchingly awful this was.
Reestablishing integrity in our institutions means we must reinvigorate our constitutional system by returning the government to its rightful owners, we the people.
Oh,
No
man.
social
That was just, come on.
He's still going.
without representation. Truth needs to be our foundation.
Oh my gosh, it's only been 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah,
virtue. And in Florida, we proved it could be done. We can and we must deliver big results for America. I pledge to be an energetic executive that will take
Oh, that woke me up.
Biden's
That was
pursued
great.
inflationary policies that are hurting working people. We will reverse those policies and we'll build. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
I'm gonna say something shockingly offensive to all DeSantis' fans.
Oh boy.
Joe Biden's got better presence and presentation than Ron DeSantis does.
Someone tweeted out, even when they finally got this so-called stream working, that this had all the excitement of attending a Zoom meeting with your boss. Oh. Do you remember in 2020 when we couldn't have normal political conventions because of COVID and lockdowns? Donald Trump and his team put together a high-quality visual event. There was a mix of some live speeches and pre-done video. I mean, it was done really, really well. Even Democrats conceded that the Republican convention in 2020 was far better produced than theirs was. Far better. And Donald Trump managing to have a live audience, at the White House on the lawn, and it was stunning. It was great. Even the leftists admitted it was great, and they couldn't understand how the Republicans could pull that out because the left is in alignment with Hollywood. They got everybody from Spielberg to Ron Howard who make big budget production movies. You would have thought they would have brought those guys on to, hey, help us make this thing pop, and it didn't. So Donald Trump has this capability, and the old guy is outmaneuvering the young guy on the new media. His people put together, this is great. It is a troll with AI of the DeSantis launch, and the people listening in. You got Klaus Schwab there from the World Economic Forum, the devil, Adolf Hitler. I mean, it's hilarious.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret.
Adolf Hitler arguing with the devil. I'm not gay. This was great. Now, DeSantis also had a video that he launched. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. The time is now. I'm the guy. But he reads everything so monotone. He has a personality problem. Dinesh D'Souza a couple of weeks ago said, Ron DeSantis has zero charisma. And then Dinesh went on to say, and charisma cannot be taught. I heard someone say last night that, I think it was the director for Turning Point, that in 2016, he hosted all of the Republican nominees for president, or that were running for the nomination. And there was like 16 of them. And he said all of them were jerks, including, Ted Cruz, who couldn't even be bothered to talk to anybody. He sat in the back of his car playing a video game on his phone until it was time for him to go out and speak. But he said Donald Trump showed up. Just started shaking hands with everybody, talking to everybody. Hey, is that your kid? Let me see your kid. Pick the kid up. Man, you are a good-looking kid. It's a good thing you don't look like your dad, but you look like your mom. He said, just personable with everybody. Instant charisma attraction. Ron DeSantis does not have that. Sebastian Gorka said just the other day, and he prophetically right, Ron DeSantis is not ready for prime time. And this flop and fizzle, fail and burn of his launch is proof positive. Now, Trump didn't just troll him, and I mean, his team is just great at this with the videos they've made. But the Ron DeSantis video was flat, and it was nothing. There was no buildup. Remember when Trump took the escalator ride? I mean, all of a sudden you're like, I remember watching that happen live, like, what is this? And all those people around, they were clapping, and they were, yeah. Like, what is he doing? I didn't even know he was going to run. I had happened to have the cable news on in my office and kind of looked up and saw that and volume up, and he gave that speech that everybody's still talking about. When Trump took the escalator ride. And Trump said, had criticized earlier about what is with these candidates and the people that prepare them that, you're going to launch your presidential campaign and they put you in a boxy little room and somebody on your staff forgets to check if the air conditioner works. And you stand there sweating profusely. He was talking about Marco Rubio. When Marco Rubio announced, I remember seeing that on television, and he literally had soaked his shirt and sweat's running down his face because apparently nobody on his staff thought that the hotel conference room where they launched this thing from ought to have working air conditioning. Apparently nobody on Team DeSantis thought they ought to make sure that, Twitter worked. And see, what this does psychologically, this says to people, if you can't launch your campaign, if you can't make this work, I'm supposed to believe that you know how to go in and fix the government and make that work. Bum, ba-dum, bum. But Donald Trump's team also hit DeSantis on policy.
2016, President Trump defeats the liberals and heads to Washington to drain the swamp. But swamp creature Ron DeSantis is about to start his third term in Congress, and he's already voted repeatedly to cut Social Security and Medicare. 2017, Trump passes huge tax cuts for nearly everyone. And Ron DeSantis, he's pushing a bill that would swap those tax cuts for a new 23% national sales tax, making families pay more. 2018, Trump is building the wall, securing the border, fighting the invasion, while Ron DeSantis is voting against funding for Trump's wall. In Washington, one was a leader and one let us down.
Hey, Ron's going to finish the wall. He said so in his statement last night. But he voted against it multiple times. Team Trump is ready for this. They've been getting ready for this. And this is it's on. So what does DeSantis do moving forward? Well, somehow he's got to figure out how to have a personality and some charisma. And he is now pigeonholed. He is Trump light. He is mini-me. And really, when you go through his talking points, he's giving you the sound of Trump-type policies, but in reality, they're establishment policies. Because Ron DeSantis is in the pocket of the establishment. Jeb Bush is supporting him. Do you need to know any more than that? We talked yesterday that Ken Griffin, an Obama super bundler, is financing him. Do you need to know any more than that? This was an unmitigated launch disaster. Faux pas News tried to cover for him, giving him some airtime. I am sure the Murdochs were a little bit piffed that they've wanted DeSantis in this race and he chooses to launch with Twitter and not with them. But Sean Hannity and the gang over there at Faux Pas News, desperate for anything, to talk about except Tucker Carlson, they'll play footsie with Ron DeSantis. But at the end of the day, and his whole campaign of, let's make America Florida. See, that was his strength. That was what launched him, was his ability to fight back on the COVID mandate madness that was happening around the country. And I've talked about this before, and I want to be clear on this. He was right there with all the other governors. Took one pastor getting arrested, being televised, that his team said, "Ooh, this is not a good look." And then he went real renegade and just opened everything, and we're going to be free. And that kind of launched him as this rock star. And he's counting on that. Here's the problem, Ron. The COVID emergency, it's over. Everything's back to normal. And you were edgy back in the day to say things that nobody else was allowed to say. Otherwise, they would get censored and deplatformed. See, we can say all that stuff now. No one cares now. Yeah, it'd be great to have some legislation in place to make sure that nonsense can't ever happen again. But that thing that set you apart, you don't have it now. And now the best you can do is to do your very best to mimic and copy the policies of Donald Trump, because that's what the MAGA Republicans, that's what the conservatives, the base, want. Like I said yesterday, you're the cover band. You're the Elvis impersonator. We don't want the impersonator. We want the real thing.